guys, I'm Jitendra Vaswani. So I'm here at Chiang Mai SEO conference. I'm with the co-founder of Empire Flipper, Justin. So Justin, can you share your journey? Like, how did you get started into this affiliate world?
Yeah, so my business partner and I worked for a local SEO company in the U.S. and we were mid-level managers.
Right.
And they had a need for labor. Like, we were hiring bodies all day.
Yeah.
So we'd previously worked with a virtual assistant in the Philippines, and we said, look, we have a connection there. Why don't we set something up with a crew in the Philippines to do some of this work?
Right.
And so our bosses at the time said, sure, go ahead, we'll try it out. Started scaling that up. That worked really well.
Yeah.
And we eventually asked them, we said, look, we want to run this company in the Philippines to work with you.
Right.
And they approved it. We basically left our jobs and packed our stuff and moved halfway around the world to the Philippines.
Okay.
And so a year after doing that, they then started to heavily cut back on us as contractors because their business ran into trouble. And you do what you have to do.
Yes.
So we were stuck. We're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We tried out a few things, and one of the things that worked was we started building small little sites for ourselves. So we had a team in the Philippines. They were trained, they were smart, they were capable. Like, what do we do with their labor because we don't have clients for them?
Right.
And so we had them start building these small AdSense sites and started making money. We realized people would buy these. Like, people were willing to pay good money for these.
Yes.
So we started selling our own, and then eventually what we realized is we had built up an audience of people that wanted to buy sites.
Right.
Why don't we let other people list and sell with us?
Right.
And so we ended up stopped selling our own sites and became just a brokerage. Initially, we were selling small sites, $5,000-$6,000 sites, and now we're doing 6 and even 7-figure deals.
7-figure. So how much worth of site you have sell and buy? So can you share some stats, like how much of the business you have did right now?
This is super easy because we just crossed a big threshold at the end of Q3 2019.
Wow.
We just broke $100 million in total website and online business sales.
Wow, $100 million. That's a huge number, right?
It's crazy. Like, if you'd asked me 4 or 5 years ago if we'd done that, I thought that was absolutely insane. But we've had a really crazy growth trajectory. So we've like doubled our business or more every year. This is the first year I think where we're not going to double. We're probably going to add about 50% in 2019 to what we did the year before. But like with such crazy growth, like exponential growth gets you exponential numbers, and that's kind of how we got here.
Of course. And how do you see a site someone is trying to sell and buy? So what are the parameters for seeing a website worth? So can you share something?
Yeah, so one of the reasons people really like buying and buy flippers is that, you know, we have vetted listings. What that means is we're checking out the seller, making sure that's a real person, and we have a whole bunch of checks for that. We're checking out to make sure the earnings are real, that they actually make money, that the traffic is real. And so we do all these kind of preliminary vetting checks that just improves the average quality of our listing. It's not to say there's not going to be listings you don't like or bad listings for you, but like you could trust that the earnings are real, the traffic is real, and the seller's a real person.
Yes.
So those are checks we do, and it's a point of contention sometimes when sellers submit with us. So they really want to sell their website or their business, and we reject based on a quality standard. It doesn't meet our quality standards, or doesn't earn enough, or it's in a niche that we know buyers aren't looking for. And so we have to be that bad news bear, telling them, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to sell your business. Maybe try again. Here's some things you can do. And so that tends to frustrate people, but we have to maintain the integrity of our listings.
Of course. So do you try to sell adult websites also, or it's like some kind of niches? Like, if I can ask you a very open question.
We don't do adult. I'm fine with adult sites, but like we don't sell them for a couple of reasons. Some people on our team might not be comfortable doing the vetting on an adult site or like checking all the details. Also, they're very different.
It's very different.
The way you get traffic, the way you advertising for adult is because you don't have the regular channels available.
Of course, true.
So you're stuck with totally different channels, and it's a different process. We don't do adult. There's a guy that does adult business broker. I forget his name. He's based out of Bangkok. I'll give you the link later.
Okay, I think his name
Bruce.
is like I know one guy from Steve. Like, he's a guy who's also dealing like creating adult software and selling the websites there. Okay, so what's your hiring process for someone if you want the team member? So what's your hiring process, and what kind of skill sets you really look for?
Yeah, so that's changed a little bit over time. I'll tell you kind of how we did it for quite a while.
Yes.
Was through an apprentice program. Yes. And so I learned this from the Tropical MBA guys. They have a podcast. They have the Dynamite Circle, which is a great community.
DC,
and I'm pimping them right now. But no, the Tropical MBA got us onto this process for hiring apprentices. So we would basically put the job offer out to our audience and say, look, you're going to come out here, you're going to work with us, we're going to pay you enough to live in Southeast Asia or relatively less expensive places, and you're going to have a seat at the table. You're going to learn and work with us on a daily basis. And we thought an offer like that only donkeys would go for that. Like, it wasn't going to be good people. And then we met some of the people that had done it through the Tropical MBA, and we said, wow, they're getting like sharp, talented people to come out and help them grow their business. So we basically just followed the model, and it's been fantastic for us. We've gotten some really exceptional people to come out and work with us over a number of years, and we followed that. We don't call it as an apprenticeship today, simply because we have a large enough team where it's like we don't get as much time with every person that we hire. Like Joe and I, my business partner, it's not as much of an apprenticeship from us. It's more from our management team. So we don't want to say that you're working directly with us. We've cut that back a little bit. We've changed the wording, but we still mostly use our audience. I'll tell you, a big thing that we like for when we're hiring people are our fans, particularly on like the marketing side. If they like what we're doing, if they like are on board with the mission, like that just makes it a lot easier for them to go out and market it and talk about it publicly. So that's really helpful. And, you know, we like talented people. We like people that can follow directions. So that's super important when we're doing the applications. Like maybe half, at least a third of people don't follow the basic directions we have for the application, and that makes for an easy no. Right. So if you're not even reading what we're saying and doing it the way we want you to do it, then you're out fast. And as we view hiring, it's like a funnel.
It's a funnel,
So the initial people that apply, you're going to want to spend the least amount of time with each of those individually, because there's going to be a lot more of them. And you want to quickly determine, you want to narrow that funnel down to where you get kind of the best of the people that applied, and you want to spend the most time interviewing and working with them, because they're the closest to actually getting the job.
So how do you verify the income stats of a website? Like if you can share your at least basic strategies, like how do you do it? Like,
so one of the things is, if we can't independently verify the earnings, let's say that you're getting cash payments from a client or something, then it's just not something we can sell. And it's not necessarily fraudulent. It's just, if we can't independently verify the numbers, then we just won't list the business for sale. And so what we'll do is we'll often ask for access or ask for a review. We'll do it live so that you can go through your earnings and we can look at that. We also work with our sellers, particularly on the lower end, the like 5 and maybe low 6 figures, to help them build out a profit and loss. So they'll build out, you know, profit and loss over the last 12 months, and we work with them on that. Usually the mid to high 6-figure and 7-figure businesses already have that taken care of.
Of course, for sure.
But the smaller ones, we help them build that out to help kind of clean everything up and give it in a presentable way for a potential buyer.
And what kind of payment gateways you are using for this kind of huge transaction deals?
What kind of payment gateway? Like what payment methods do we accept?
Yes, so like PayPal or like
no
PayPal.
Not PayPal fans.
No PayPal fans.
We take credit cards for deposits. But with the way we work is we take a deposit, a refundable deposit from anyone looking to review a business. If they end up buying the business, we just refund the deposit and require payment another way. Normally it's through wire. We'll have you wire us the money. We'll take Bitcoin. We'll take crypto. So we'll take crypto payments for businesses.
Bitcoin and crypto also.
And we've done that for $100,000+ transactions. We've taken crypto. We actually did a deal where we received crypto and actually paid out in crypto as well. So that was kind of, normally it's on one side, we'll either receive cash or USD via wire and pay out in crypto, or receive crypto and pay a wire out in cash and money. I know one time I got a story for you.
Sure.
So Joe and I are in Thailand, and there's a guy, I think he was like a UAE national in Thailand, didn't have a bank account, didn't have access to something. Like, look, I want to buy a site. It was like $28,000 to $35,000 site, somewhere in that range. I want to pay cash. I'm in Thailand. You're in Thailand. We're like, okay. So Joe goes up with one of our employees, Mike Frankovich. And they go up to Bangkok. They meet at like the Conrad in Bangkok. And a guy comes in with like a duffel bag of Thai baht. No joke. So he comes in with a duffel bag of cash. And I was like, you want to buy this business? And they're like, okay, we'll do it. And so we're trying to figure out how to do this deal, because we need to take the money and put it in our bank account. And we said, let's not do that. We're just like, so what we did is we called it a company distribution, because as your company makes profit, you can distribute to the equity owners. And so we just called that a distribution and kept the cash ourselves. So Joe and I split the money, and I had like a little shoebox just full of baht. And so I want to try and like transfer it to dollars as we're running around some of the currency exchanges. And like, we don't want to do too much at once, and then one place doesn't have enough money, so we're like bouncing around to multiple exchanges trying to get the money in cash. So that's not common. That's not a preferred way
of
do business.
That's
but
crazy.
it was funny. It was like this gangster holding up fat Thai bot stacks. And
oh my God.
Insane.
That's crazy.
It's not normal though. It's not normal.
Yeah, it's having a deal in cash. It's rare. Like
it's just that's not normal. Normally it's wires.
Yes.
A crypto, but we don't do a whole lot of
Escrow?
crypto.
Do you use escrow?
Yeah, so on the larger deals, often we'll use, not an escrow company, but we use attorneys.
Lawyers.
Generally, lawyers are bonded for up to a certain amount, and you need to check with them, but we'll
Yes.
use attorneys to hold the money in an escrow account effectively until the deal has been completed.
Like the trust is there. Like
Yeah, we've done that for for 7-figure deals most
Wow.
usually. And then what happens is once they do it once, then they're kind of like, okay, you know what? I think we're probably fine next time. We'll just do it with you straight up.
And what kind of the parameters you look at? Like, do you look at the domain authority, DA, PA, AR? Like, what kind of things do you look if you want to buy or sell a website? Like, if you can share something.
Yeah. So when we're doing our vetting process, like, there's a difference between vetting and due diligence, right? So vetting is to maintain the quality of our listings, to make sure we're putting up listings that are most likely to sell.
Yes.
But when buyers are doing their own due diligence,
Yes.
that's a different question. So they have to look at different things. And
Yes.
generally what I tell people is to look for a business that matches unique skill sets that you have.
Yes.
So if you're particularly good at Facebook ads, find a
Yes.
business that's either doing Facebook ads badly or could benefit from you running Facebook ads to the
Facebook
business.
ads, right.
And this is amazing. This is the reason people do business, is because you have a seller who
Yes.
builds this business up and they're like, this is as good as it's going to get. I'm going to
Yes.
sell it to someone and has nowhere to go from here
Nowhere
because
to
I've
go, right.
gotten it as big as it's going to get.
Right.
And then the buyer comes along and goes, wow, this seller doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
He hasn't done any of this particular
Any of
SEO
it.
tricks or
Right.
Facebook ads or whatever. I'm going to take this business and double it in a year or two. And so they're both kind of going to the deal going, I'm pulling one over on the other person. And really, that's why companies like ours exist. We just match those two up.
Okay, do you buy the website which are into personal branding? Suppose I'm into personal branding and I'm making money from training and and speaking, and that is through my blog only.
Yeah.
So you buy those kind of website also, like?
It's more difficult. So if it's all around your personal brand,
Yes.
there are times where it's around a personal brand that's not actually you, like people are using an avatar or whatever. That's doable. It's particularly more difficult if it has to be you. So if you're
Yes.
doing video interviews for your site regularly, I know, right?
I'm being affiliate also on my own.
But people
own
learn,
website.
people like you.
Yes.
And so if they know, like, and trust you and not your brand, that makes the sale more difficult. It's doable, but there are some caveats that will come with it. So often it'll be something like, look, I'll buy, I'll give you, whatever, I'll give you 90% of your ask, but I'm going to do 50% up front and 40% over the next 2 years, and we're going to transition me in. So you now have maybe 2 hosts on a podcast or a video interview series, or it trades back and forth, and you'll be stuck continuing to run it with them for a period of time
Until the brand is transformed.
until it's been transferred.
Oh.
So the larger you get, for example,
That's nice.
the more you make it about your
Yes.
company and the brand and less about you. See,
Yes.
this is the issue.
Yes.
It's so much easier to build a brand around you personally from the start.
Yes.
So if you're personable and you're putting your kind of attitude and
Yes.
flavor
Yes.
into the business, it makes it so much more likely to be successful.
Right.
But in the long term, you have to make that pivot between personal brand to company brand. And so you have to make it less about you and more about the company
More
and the
about
team.
the company and the team.
You'll notice that that's something we've done over the last couple of years. Is we have Greg at this conference right now
Right.
who was speaking on stage.
Yes,
I was
yes.
hiding in the background taking pictures of the guy. Right? So and one of the reasons we do that is because we want our team to be out front and center. It's also, there's some benefits to them being out there, like for their own personal development and
Right,
everything,
right.
their career development. But it also helps expand the brand to more than just the Justin and Joe show.
Okay, that's nice. So I heard like you guys also do small kind of workshops like masterminds with the top affiliates. Right?
Yeah. So we do it once a year. We do what we call our customer retreat, and so we rent out a few villas in Phuket. And one thing you'll learn about us is we can throw parties. So we're really good at that.
Wow.
So
I would love to attend it.
It's
for
so
sure.
much fun. So we put together a couple of villas, and we run a mastermind. We bring people out to do speaking on certain topics. We mix in a lot of fun. We'll take out a yacht, and then we do like bottle service at the club and just have a really fun night. And we just bring really smart, talented people together to have conversations. And really, it's not even something we make money on. We break even. We've lost money or broken even every time we've done it. So it's not a money maker for us. It just feels right. It's like in line with our brand. It's cool to get cool people in a good room.
Yes.
And that's
true.
that we've gotten so much value out of that over the years ourselves that we want to provide the same benefit to others.
So that's like it's very like win-win deal for both affiliates and you also, right?
Yep.
It's like that. So one last question, and how is the experience now at Chiang Mai SEO conference? So are you loving the conference? Like,
it's great. I mean, it's so many good people, and like
Right.
we're talking about great rooms.
yes.
That's one of the things about the Chiang Mai SEO conference, and I've been here every year since they started.
Okay. Wow.
The first year there was no conference; it was just a mastermind. So it was
Just
like
very
me coming
small
up here,
market,
hanging out
right.
with Matt and a bunch of his buddies in the
Yes.
SEO space,
Yeah.
and we were doing a mastermind, and that was it. And we hung out for the weekend.
Yes.
And the next year he did a conference. And he's kind of continued with
It's
that.
getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and he just he knew the mastermind was so valuable.
Right.
He wanted to open this up to like there's all these like smart, capable people willing to share.
Sure.
And he was
Share
like,
some
look,
knowledge.
I want them to have a part of that. I want
Yes,
them to
true
get a
that.
feel for that.
Right.
And it's great. So we come up here and obviously it's good for brand exposure, so we do that. The reason I'm here though, like our team could have done that. We got guys here, working a booth and kind of talking to the crowd. But I just came up here because there's so many cool people. Really,
Yes.
I've got a bunch of friends, we've got customers, and I wanted to hang out, have some nice steak dinners, enjoy my time with some of our peers and collaborators.
Thank you so much. So Justin, you are based in Vietnam, right?
Yeah, I'm based
Okay.
in Saigon. I'm there probably 7 or 8 months a year. So
Wow.
if you're coming to Ho Chi Minh and you want to look me up, you can say hi. Other than that, I travel a lot, and you can see me all over.
Okay, thank you so much, Justin, for sharing your journey with my readers, and they're lucky to know about Empire Flippers' journey. Like everyone follow in India, like big affiliates, they know about Empire Flippers. Like,
Cool,
thank
man.
you so much, Justin.
Thanks for having
Thank
me
you so
on.
much.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Take care. Bye bye.